one of the things that I used to have to do was kind of conform and try to mold myself and restrain myself so that I could be more presentable. During COVID, when I started doing the content for Cooking Con Omi, once I discovered that, it was liberating. It was so liberating, and I like I said, I feel like it comes with age, where you tend to have a level of respect for the fact that when you show up your true authentic self, you never know who you're helping out, and you never know how the impact that that's gonna make.
Here, what's going on? It's your boy KB.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It is your boy Jay.
And we are live from the Bronx. We are the podcast and creative brand that celebrates creatives of color. And today, we got a very special episode.
Very
So
special.
I know we say that they're all special, but this is a different kind of special. So today, we are sitting with Omi Hopper. So Omi is a celebrity chef. She's an influencer. She is all over social media. And she is currently a contestant on season 2 of Next Level Chef. And she's been all around the Bronx, and she decided to stop and kick it with Live from the Bronx. So please make some noise for Omi.
Hey. Omi, what up? How you feeling?
We're going to add some effects, the claps and all of that in the post-production.
I love it. I'm feeling amazing. I'm coming off of a high from yesterday's watch party. But I don't want to jump ahead. I just know that I'm so excited to be here with y'all.
We're excited to have you. And let's stay there for a quick second. How many times have you been to the Bronx before? Is this your first?
Oh my Lord, I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna get it. This is my first time in the Bronx.
Amazing.
Yeah, first time in the BX, and she decided to kick it.
First time, but I was with the best of the best in the Bronx. Oof, Bronx tour has been like, talk about jamming 3 days into one. We started off at the NYPD gala honoring women in the service, and I was so honored to be there.
I think there were some heavy hitters in that room.
Yeah.
The borough president, Vanessa Gibson, I heard she was in the room.
Yeah.
Deputy Borough President was in the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. I'd never been to a party in the Bronx like that, for sure.
Okay.
It was awesome. And then, of course, yesterday was my meet and greet at Choco Bar Cortez in the Bronx. I was there from 12 to 4 doing meet and greets.
Okay.
With
how many people? I heard a lot of people showed up for this.
Oh my goodness. I was overwhelmed.
Okay.
I was overwhelmed in the best of ways.
Yeah.
Probably like 300 people showed up for the meet and greet. And then immediately after, our watch party, the watch party at Rosa's at Park.
Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to Rosa.
Yes. Shout out.
We was in the building, and we was in the building for that. It was a dope event. Shout out to Blue. Thank you for the invite, brother.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the things we know about the Bronx is just the community, the family. We're so welcoming. We definitely support our people. If we rock with you, we rock with you, right? Yeah. And I think that was something we had a chance to see yesterday. So I want to take a step back really quickly. A lot of people, follow you. They know what you're doing. They see you on TV, and you've been doing an amazing job building your brand, and you're an amazing cook. But your roots go back to Puerto Rico, right? Rio Grande, to be specific. Can you tell us a little bit just about your upbringing? What was it like growing up in Rio Grande for you? And then I believe you came over here when you were 11 is when you made your transition to Rhode Island. Talk to us a little bit about your upbringing.
So I actually grew up in Loíza. When I was 11 and moved to the U.S., that's when my grandmother sold the house in Loíza, in Parcela Suárez, and moved to Las Trestes, Rio Grande. And that's where every summer I got to spend with her. But in Loíza, we actually had a farm, and we had pigs, chickens, we had a cow, we had everything that you can imagine. My grandmother was a pastelera, and she made pasteles all year round, and we had everything like that we needed to make pasteles on site in the farm. And so it was such an awesome tradition. And we had La Terraza, which is like the balcony in the back, which was closed off with the iron rods, las rejas. And it's such an old school experience, but like I remember playing house with my cousins there. I remember having chickens for pets and and eating them too afterwards. So like, you have very unique experiences living that type of life. But then coming to the U.S. at the age of 11, it was a culture shock. It was genuinely a culture shock, not knowing, the pop culture here, not knowing, what, rap music or any. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know any of that, and learning that and understanding that, making new friends, starting school here, it was rough. And my mom, she did a really good job at not letting me forget my roots. She never wanted me to speak English in the house. She never let me. She never let me. And I would come home, very old school, traditional Puerto Rican, to a home cooked meal every day.
Yeah.
And, I'd be smelling like sofrito all the time, going to school with my coat.
Yeah.
Sofrito and garlic all the way. And Vicks.
Yeah.
So when you got here, was it Rhode Island that you went to?
Rhode Island, yeah.
So is there a strong Puerto Rican presence where you grew up in Rhode Island?
Negative.
Okay, that's what I figured. Just wanted to ask though.
So when we first moved to Rhode Island, there were very few Latinos.
Okay.
Very few Latinos. However, there was a little bit of a stronger Dominican community.
Okay.
Which kind of helped with the ingredients that we were able to, use and buy, and kind of stay close to home in that sense, because Puerto Ricans, we can't cook without sofrito. Adobo.
Sazon, yep.
So I'm like, where are we getting this from?
Yeah.
So the Dominican bodegas were the best thing we had.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is so dope about you, right, and you see it whether it's through your content, through, Next Level Chef, just in person, your authenticity is real. And one of the things that I just admire about you is being able to show up as who you are in all spaces, right? You got your Air Max on right now. If you can't see your feet, right,
We'll pan down to the
right,
feet.
like the
We'll
kicks
pan
are
down
on
to the
fire,
feet.
right? And you are not afraid to be you. Can you just talk a little bit about why it's so important for you to celebrate your culture and show up as your authentic self everywhere you are?
Yeah, I think that for me came with age. I don't think I was there all the time. I joked around a little bit with this earlier, because I worked in an environment where I came from customer service, by the way. I worked in banking for 10 years of my life, right out of college. Well, actually, while I was in college. Yeah. And then kind of accidentally went into makeup artistry. Okay. But I was there for 10 years, so it really wasn't that accidental, and I really loved it, by the way. Yeah. But as a makeup artist and even as a banker, one of the things that I used to have to do was kind of conform and try to mold myself and restrain myself so that I could be more presentable, right? So like I would straighten my hair, I would put on my customer service voice, I would code switch, and understanding that all along it was really just the secret sauce was me being myself. And during COVID, when I started doing the content for Cooking Con Omi, once I discovered that, it was liberating. It was so liberating. And I like I said, I feel like it comes with age, where you tend to have a level of respect for the fact that when you show up your true authentic self, you never know who you're helping out, and you never know how the impact that that's going to make for someone else. And so for me, showing up as that and just fully being myself and transparent in everything that I do and say, and how I am, it has been an awesome way to help my community and my viewers.
We love that. We actually read that this wasn't Top Level Chef Next Level Chef wasn't the first cooking show that you had got offered.
Yeah.
So we heard that there was another show that you actually turned down.
I did.
Because they wanted you to do things that you weren't necessarily comfortable. Can you talk a little about that?
I can. I remember getting the email for the invitation for this, and I had to do a Zoom interview, because you could get casted for these things, but you still have to go through the interview process. Even with Next Level Chef, same thing. Yep. So when I got the email, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the opportunity of a lifetime. Yeah. But now, at this point, I've now been doing Cooking Con Omi for about 2 years. Yeah. Right? So I'm feeling really confident in who I am. I'm feeling liberated and being my true authentic self. I'm like, I'm not trying to go back to my customer service voice. Right? Like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to code switch for nobody. But what ended up happening was that I sat down for the interview, and the person who was asking me about my story, and just like this, the same way that I'm talking to you is the same way that I talk to anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm telling them my story, and the person's like, oh, that's great, that's wonderful, that's so good. All right, can you tell me that one more time, but just do it like, just give me like a little bit more. And I'm like, but I don't want to.
And that's not
this
me.
is And they wanted me to be like, for lack of a better word, they wanted me to be like a Sofia Vergara type. And I'm like, but that's not who I am. Like, I know I come off very lively on my videos when I'm speaking Spanish. But there is, for those of us in the diaspora who know, if you know, you know, when you speak Spanish versus when you speak English, there's a different dynamic that happens in a different way that you express yourself. And that just comes with culture. Honestly, that's part of our culture in the diaspora. But I was speaking English to him, and he wanted me to like have like a fake accent. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm like, I've been here since I was 11 years old. I don't have a thick Latino accent like that. Like I may have a little bit of a Spanglish accent, but that's it. And so I wasn't gonna do that, and I sat on that for like 2 days. I sat on it. I was like, why is this interview not sitting well with me? I'm like, something's just not right. And the more I thought about it, and I kept saying to myself, I don't think this opportunity is going to be for me. On the second day, I remember they said, we'll give you a call on Thursday to let you know whether or not you have made it to the next round. The next round was going to be like the finalist of who was going to be selected. And I called my manager and I was like, so we need to talk about this opportunity. He's like, before you say anything, you got selected. You made top 10. And I was like, nah, I need to tell you something. I'm about to break your heart. I don't think that this is for me. And when I explained to him the why, 100% backed me up, 100% fully understood. And so I felt seen in that way. But, this show just wasn't a good fit, and for months I was like, oh my God, I just made the biggest mistake of my life. What the heck did I just do saying no to this? Like, I'm never gonna get an opportunity like this. And it was crickets. No, it was coqui. It was straight up coqui. It was nothing. Nothing was happening. I had no brand deals. Nothing was happening. I'm like, am I gonna have to start doing makeup again? Like, what's gonna happen? And in August of that same year, 2022, August 11th to be exact, it was 5 p.m. I open up my email and I see the invitation for Next Level Chef.
Amazing.
And I was like, this ain't true. I had to go back and search my resource. I'm like, LinkedIn, this name real? Do they really work for Fox?
So there's a couple of things before we're about to, jump into that. I want to hear a little bit about the beginnings of your journey with Next Level Chef. So we'll get into that in a second. But I think you named a couple of things that I just want to pull out that I think are very important for our viewers. Our viewers, largely people of color, right? And largely from local area, Bronx, right? Tri-state area, et cetera. And one of the things that I want to come back to is that authenticity piece and staying true to who you are, which is how I started the question. But what tends to happen when we start to code switch, and that becomes a normal part of how we show up in the professional world, is that we start to lose parts of our identity without even knowing that. And you use the word liberation, right? And so being able to show up as yourself is freeing, right? Because you don't have to live with the constraints of what society puts you in this box that you're supposed to be in, right? So I think I want to make sure that I call that out and emphasize that, because I think people should be okay and comfortable with who they are, whatever that means to them, right? So that's one thing I want to call out there. And then two, another opportunity came about.
And that's what I was going to say.
Right? Just by you staying true to you, right? We now get to see you on Next Level Chef, right? Go ahead, Kev. I know you wanted to.
Don't compromise who you are. I love that was the thing that really spoke to me. You didn't compromise who you were, and the next opportunity was bigger and better for you.
And you want to know why too? And this is part of the reason why I said a king comes with age. I have a level of respect for the people who support me. My supporters are everything. Like, Cooking Con Omi wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the people who support the channel, the platform, the recipes they share, they comment, they save the recipes. Like, that to me means the world. And the fact that I've been able to get that far with them There's no way that I would show up on a nationally syndicated show and not be myself and let them down. But most importantly, I have 4 boys who look at me every single day, and they know mommy. They know mommy in the kitchen. They know mommy at home. They know that I'm not going to do that, and I wouldn't set that example for them. And so for me, that's the core for me, why it was important for me to not take something like that, as good as it looked, as beautiful as that door was, I could not walk through it. And that's actually something that I learned. Not every open door is one that's meant for you to walk through.
Yeah.
I love that. We actually know too many people who have tried to be other people to think that that's what they needed to do to get where they wanted to go. Like caricatures of themselves almost.
Yeah. And I do think people will celebrate you and your authenticity, as you've noticed, right? And you have this huge following, and it is true, right? And I can imagine the pressure, right, that you feel like, this door's open, I can take this opportunity, but then all my supporters are here and they're watching. What do I do, right? So I think there are so many different nuances and complexities that exist in that space. But let's get there right now. We're talking Next Level Chef, and before even episode 1 aired, there are 24 candidates selected, if I understand correctly.
24 that were selected, but only 18 were gonna make it on episode 1.
Yes.
And so the pressure was on before there was ever episode 1.
Yeah.
I remember getting on the bus and meeting the contestants for the first time, all 24 of them, meeting them all at the same time. They said, come prepared with your day 1 outfits. Have your day 1 outfits just kind of hanging. We're going to dress you guys. They put our aprons, the whole thing. And we were going to do a photo shoot, and we were going to do interviews. That same night, we get back on the bus, headed back to the hotel, and the production team says to us, so by the way, tomorrow we're scheduled for episode 1. There's only 18 of you that are actually going to move on to episode 1.
That's rough.
If you don't get a knock on the door by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., assume that you will be going home.
Wow.
Heart drop. Boom.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
And so me being a woman of faith and really believing that I'm still gonna, no matter what, I'm gonna get on this show, I go in the bath, I wash my hair, I diffuse my hair, I set off the alarm, because the outlets and the appliances in the UK are just not the same. And so the smoke coming up from the hair dryer set off the alarm. I got people knocking on my door. Is everything okay, ma'am? I'm like, I'm fine. Nervous as heck. I'm ironing my pants. I burned my pants.
Wow.
Okay, I'm burning my pants. And then they're like, hey, by the way, wardrobe is going to be coming by. So be prepared. I get a knock on the door. It is not wardrobe. It is, in fact, one of the producers.
Okay.
And I'm going, oh, snap. I'm going home. I'm going home. Like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
And he's like, please have a seat. He's like, as you know, there's 24 of you, but only 18 of you are going to make it. And we did not want to wait till tomorrow morning. So I just wanted to come in personally to let you know. And he's very serious, just like this kind of demeanor. And I'm like, that's it. Like, I'm out sweating. And I'm like, I just finished getting in the shower. Like, I'm sweating now. I'm nervous. He's like, I just wanted to let you know myself that you're one of the 18 going into episode 1. And I lost it right in that moment. I just lost it. And I'm like, you need me to keep it down in here? That's a tall order. That is a tall order that you want me to keep it down in here. It was amazing. It was such an outer body moment and like experience.
You find out who's the first person you tell him?
My husband. My husband. I called him right away. Since we were not allowed to have our phones or electronics on set, we would have to leave everything in our hotel room. And so I knew that there were going to be very long days that I was just not going to be able to talk to him at all. And sometimes we would go in at 8 a.m. and we would not be back into the hotel till about 8:30, 9 p.m.
Wow.
And so those long days, and then there's a 6-hour difference between there and here. And so I would literally call at like 8:30, 9 p.m. Immediately when I walked in the room, like, I made it to another episode. You know, like, and he was the only one that I was able to like release that to. But man, it was hard. It was hard. And from the very beginning, there are those moments that it's not just the competition in the cooking. There's so much that goes into it mentally, physically, emotionally. You don't have your family, you have no support system, you don't have your devices with you. Like, there's so much that gets lost, and then you just have to rely on complete strangers who you don't know. And that's how you made 18 contestants the best of friends. Like, literally, we are so cool right now. We are on a group text. We're in a group chat together. We, check in on each other. We've gone to watch parties together. It's been fun. It's a journey.
So it's such a fascinating show. So for folks who haven't seen it, so it's not a regular cooking show. It's very different.
Very different.
Can you explain a little bit about
So there's 18 contestants, and all 18 contestants were divided into 3 groups. We have professional chefs, we have social media chefs, and then we have home chefs. And all the chefs have different backgrounds. Whether you were classically trained or not, you are divided into those 3 groups. And within that, there's 3 mentors. So you've got Chef Ramsay, Chef Blaze, and Chef Arrington. When we got to the show was when we found out who picked us. So I was really honored to find out that Chef Arrington had picked me. And I quite frankly wanted to be with her. I think I don't know how I would have done had I been in Chef Ramsay's team. I don't know. Because I think you go in with the perception that he's this monster, when in fact he's quite the opposite. He's such a sweetheart. He's funny. He's sarcastic. He's witty. Like, he's quick with it. I really, really appreciate him now. But after that, there's 3 kitchens. There's 3 levels. You've got the top kitchen, which is your top level, top of the top of the game, everything. You've got your mid-level kitchen, which is more like your industrial type of kitchen, and then you've got your basement, which is the worst type of kitchen you could possibly be in. Like, it is horrible. There's nothing down there works. Everything's always turning off or going too high, and it's chaotic, to say the least. And then there's a platform, and this platform goes from top level all the way down to the bottom level with ingredients, and you've got 30 seconds to grab whatever ingredients you can find, based on the challenge that you've been given for the day. So you have to make sure that you grab a protein, you grab a vegetable, you grab a starch. You have to make sure that at all times you've only got 30 seconds. So you're editing the meal in your mind as you're grabbing, because obviously if I'm just going to grab random ingredients, I'm not going to be able to make a dish. So I have to be strategic with what I grab. How
nerve-wracking is that 30 seconds?
It's 5 seconds. It's not even 30 seconds. It's 5 seconds. I'm like, where did time go? Why is this thing moving again? So it's so nerve-wracking. And you're competing. It's a competition. So you've got people who are reaching over you and grabbing the things that you may want. So then you've got that 30 seconds. Then you have 40 minutes to cook. 40 minutes to cook something that you may not have cooked ever before. What happens then? There's a mid-round drop. As if that's not enough, there's a mid-round drop, and you have to incorporate this mystery ingredient into your dish that you've already edited in your mind. And now you have to re-edit the dish to be able to add this new element that you may not know how to use. So there's that. And then you've only got 2 minutes to plate. But it's not just any kind of plating. It's not like your grandmother's kitchen where you could just plate and here you go, papito, eat that food. No. It's literally, it needs to look, beautiful and presentable, and like it needs to be appealing to the eye, and it needs to make sense. The color of your food versus the color of your plate. Do they, complement each other? It's stupid. But you got 2 minutes to do that.
That's insane.
And then you got 15 seconds to make it from wherever you're at to the platform where the plate is going to go, and this platform is going to be going up. And if you don't make it there on time within those 15 seconds.
And that's when I knew the show was real. I was like, there were a couple people who missed the platform.
One thing I want to ask, right? So talking about culture, talking about how you cook, right? Your ingredients, right? Sofrito, sazon, adobo, right? Like,
Don't got none of that.
so what was that like for you, right? You are, I mean, since a child, right? You're so used to these ingredients, right? What was that like for you?
It was rough. It was rough. I had to go old school. I had to go and make my own adobo. And I kid you not, they don't show this, or they haven't shown this just yet, but I would grab all of the spices that make up adobo. Legit, I'm not even kidding. I would grab all of the spices that made up adobo, and I would make a little mix, my own little mix, and I would put it to the side. I'm like, my flavor profile ain't about to change up in here.
Period.
I'm not. So I had my flavor profile was always consistent. And so I had my little mix. I had my salt and pepper. I obviously could come up with different ways of adding color and then different ways of cooking things. So whether it's searing, frying, you know, in the oven, roasting, whatever it is, we're going to make it work. But I'm not changing my flavor profile. And I stuck true to those flavors.
And again, just a testament, right? Like, just a testament to who you are and your authenticity, right? I think, again, as somebody who has Puerto Rican in them, right? I'm Puerto Rican and Salvadorian, and just hearing your story and knowing, like, right, my grandmother has a house in Rio Grande, right? And, like, just the deep connection there, I think is so dope for somebody like myself to watch, to hear your story, right? And know that, you know, these ingredients are going with me wherever I go. Just know that, right?
That's it.
Super dope.
Yeah. And if I ever, I wish that in every single platform grab, I was able to find the ingredients to make sofrito, because I would have done that too. But it took me, I think, episode 3 to finally find garlic. I was like, oh my God,
It's here.
it's here.
So yesterday we got to go to the viewing party of episode 8. So episode 8 is different. Things kind of switch up.
They switch up.
So previously you had been on a team, right? You were Chef Arrington's team. You had other people there. Now it becomes an individual competition. So tell me about how the game plan had to switch and what that was like, going from teams to individual.
Yeah. There was no safety net anymore, right? So if somebody from your team won, it would save the whole team. Now there's none of that. Now you're individuals and you're cooking for yourself. And if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. And so that was nerve-wracking. And it truly, the atmosphere, it just shifted. Whenever we finally got out of that green room and came out and they told us the competition is now individuals, people all of a sudden were not sharing as much. They were like, I'll take that book back. Thank you. They're like, the atmosphere changed for sure. And it truly became intense. Very intense.
That group chat was silent after that, right?
I hadn't been on the group chat just yet. It was just, the bus rides were very long.
So I know obviously you can't tell us who wins, or can you?
No,
Take my kids.
But I guess what has been the best experience for you about that, being on the show? Like, what's been the greatest thing for you up to this point?
Greatest thing for me up until this point has been what I intentionally went in there to do. You know, I often ask to myself the question, God, why me? Why did you choose me to do something like this? Like, I'm not professionally trained. I'm not classically trained in by any means. Why'd you choose me? And I very quickly realized that I was there to represent a people. I was there to represent a culture. I was there to carry mi gente conmigo. And so when I leaned into that and when I figured that out, internally and emotionally, it kicked into a different gear that I didn't know existed in me.
Yeah.
And finding that gear has been the best gift that I've had, that I've gotten out of all of this. Once I found that gear, and now I'm eager to want to do more. I'm eager to want to showcase more of us, of our people, our dishes, our culture. It's like, if I got to carry the torch for that, so be it. ¿Dónde está el pilón?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's carry this torch.
Got it. So what you're talking about is purpose.
Yeah,
You found
absolutely.
purpose, and it's real. Just seeing you walk down the street, people were coming up to you to take pictures. The Bronx showed up yesterday, so people, they're with you. We are with you. We are
And
with
I
you.
feel it. I feel the love, man. It was so beautiful to have a room full of people who are genuinely happy and excited for a complete stranger. They don't know me from Adam, you know.
Yeah.
Like they feel like they know me because
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what
I
I'm
was.
gonna
Yeah,
say.
me
social
too.
media.
Yeah.
They're like, you're like my cousin, tú eres mi prima, and I'm like, you have no idea. They're like, you helped me through the pandemic, and I'm like, no, you helped me through the pandemic. You don't even know. Like, so that to me means so much, and it's the best feeling ever.
So I think our producer's saying that we got to start to wrap. But before we let you go, right, there is a game that we like to play.
Okay,
So-
okay.
She's in it. She's in it.
Let's
She's
go.
in it.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
perfect.
go.
So the game is called Rapid Fire.
Okay.
All right, so here's how it works. So Jason has 5. I haven't even heard the questions either, so I'm going to be hearing them for the first time as well. All right, so Jason has 5 questions he's going to ask you. All right? And the way this works is you're going to say the first word or words that come to your mind when you hear the questions. Do not take too much thought with it, and it's meant to be fun. All right?
Okay. I thought there was gonna be a buzzer, and the caldero was gonna be
That
like.
is the buzzer.
Right,
the
right,
buzzer.
right,
Cool.
right.
It's
Let's
okay.
do it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Omi, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right, boom. All-time favorite music album, any genre.
Mark Anthony. Todo a su tiempo.
Favorite place to travel to.
Puerto Rico.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Puerto Rico.
What is your favorite dish to make for your family?
Arroz con habichuela.
And that's 3. That's 3. I'm on 3 and 4.
4.
That's 4. I got one more. You ready? If you can use 3 adjectives, just 3 adjectives, to describe who you are, Omi, what would those 3 adjectives be?
I am bright, fun, and creative.
Love it. Wasn't
Killed
so
it,
bad, right?
killed it,
Yeah.
killed it. Bonus, favorite sneaker.
Ooh.
I love that one, yeah.
Air Maxes.
Hey, she got the Air Max on the feet right now. Yo,
Yes,
Omi,
sir.
thank you for taking the time to kick it
Thank
with us. For
you.
real, for real. We know that you were all around the Bronx, like literally.
Yeah.
So the fact that you made time to kick it with our podcast, Live from the Bronx, it means so much. And I think, and I know that our viewers definitely, and our listeners got a bunch of gems from this interview. Your positivity radiates through all of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for creating this platform to give us voices. This is beautiful.
Most definitely.
Really.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure all of our listeners are already following you. But in case they're not, can you throw out your social medias for,
Yes.
for the
You
people?
can find me on all platforms across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter as Cooking Con Omi. Cooking Con Omi.
We're going to make it appear on the bottom.
Yeah, I like it.
And Jay, if you could throw out our social medias really quickly.
Absolutely. Y'all already know. Follow us at Live from the Bronx on Instagram, Live from the BX on Twitter. You can also follow us on Facebook at Live from the Bronx and YouTube. And reach out to us. Our email is info@livefromthebronx. Let us know who you want to see on the show. And we're excited to announce that the Bronx Summit is happening. More information to come.
Cool. Yo, Omi, thanks again. Live from the Bronx. We out, y'all.
Gracias.